You've paid for it. Millions of dollars for items that help state employees do their jobs.
But a 3-month 2 News investigation shows that hundreds of those items are now missing. Natalie Tendall is finding out why that is and what state leaders have to say about it.
For months, I've been asking for this list of missing and stolen state property, and what we found on it will surprise you. Laptops, cell phones, and office chairs are most likely to go missing in the day-to-day working world. But it's items like this, safes, ATVs, and guns that have us asking questions. A $12,000 copier, a $2,500 laptop, and the list goes on and on. You paid for them, the state used them, now they're missing.
Because each asset represents, taxpayer dollars.
Ohio state law says all agencies are required to keep track of everything they buy, update, and get rid of. And they're supposed to report that information to the Department of Administrative Services, DAS. It took 2 News Investigates 3 months of emails, phone calls, and visits to DAS in Columbus to even obtain the list, which are public record. We eventually received the last 2 full calendar years and found 26 state agencies reported missing or stolen property. We did the math and found taxpayers spent more than $700,000 on them. But it's not a topic departments want to talk about on camera. Agency after agency denied our request for an interview. The Public Utility Commission and Governor's Office referred us back to the agency that manages the list, DAS. They, too, declined an interview, but did agree to answer questions via email. They said, quote, "We take the management of state assets seriously, and we have confidence in the state's asset managers and their ability to track state assets, and will continue to look for ways to improve our efforts." The Department of Natural Resources, which manages wildlife and state parks, also gave us a statement. They have 2 ATVs on the list, as well as 3 guns, all listed as stolen. The department told us, quote, "We're extremely concerned with the fact that these weapons are no longer in our possession, which is why we have since equipped all of our law enforcement vehicles with audible alarms." But we still wanted to ask someone directly about these items and what DAS does with the list. So when Governor Kasich offered to talk to us last week about jobs coming to Ohio, I also asked him about the missing and stolen property. How is the state making sure it's keeping track of these items that are essentially paid for by tax dollars?
Look, today is Procter & Gamble Day, and we'll get back to you.
It's been 6 days, and we still haven't heard back, and we still have questions. That's when we got Representatives Roland Winburn and Jim Butler involved. They both are asking questions and reviewing legislation on how the state manages these assets and why so many are missing and stolen.
We have to look and see if there are any inconsistencies, if there is confusion.
2 News Investigates found some confusion. When searching the records, we noticed the Ohio Department of Transportation wasn't on the list, even though the Ohio State Highway Patrol confirmed that the department had stolen items. So we went back to the law and found it isn't too clear. Do you think that every agency should be reporting?
Every agency should be reporting, as I understand it.
But that's not exactly how it works. According to DAS, there are 12 agencies, including the Department of Public Safety and Transportation, that don't have to report their missing and stolen assets to them. DAS says those 12 agencies use their own in-house system and keep their own records, but they eventually hope to have every agency on one system. Both Butler and Winburn says it's a good thing that the state is trying to keep track of their property, but they want to be sure something's being done with that information.
It is my responsibility to inquire as well and to get some resolve to this.
I'm going to keep monitoring it to make sure that it is working.
I'll also keep monitoring it. I asked how some of these items could go missing in the first place, and some of the reasons I got were it's probably around the office somewhere and we've misreported it, or we've since replaced it. DAS says since there's always the possibility of finding these items, the list can change daily. But if you'd like to see the list we looked at, go to our website at WDTN.com. Natalie Tendall, 2 News Investigates.